Shut up with your gender norms, Yosuke Hanamura. Hello, welcome back to Trauma Team. It's episode, I want to say 3 of this case, and we are getting closer to solving it. We're getting pretty close to solving it, if I do say so myself. I actually have no idea how close we are to solving it, don't listen to me. But yes, hello. To recap, our victim's name is Veronica Cage. Probably not related to Nicolas Cage, but I like to think that she is. She died mysteriously. She got hit by a car in a random highway. We're gonna listen to an account from the truck driver who hit her now. Oh, hello, Charles Elkins. Okay, first we're gonna focus on her before the accident.
What do you want? I didn't do anything. I don't know. A woman. That woman. It's not my fault. I was supposed to drive a shipment to a nearby town. Damn it, they forced me to do it. Why the hell would someone be sleeping in the middle of a mountain road at midnight anyway?
Interesting that she was sleeping in the road. Why did that not?
She was lying on the bridge.
She was sleeping.
There we go.
On the bridge?
I thought.
This seems a little odd.
There we go. I thought perhaps the other thing that said she was sleeping on the bridge might be the correct answer, but it was not.
If this man was telling the truth, then the victim had already collapsed there from the start. It doesn't seem like he was lying, but what in the world does this mean?
Seems like she might have already been dead when she was run over by the car. Which they might have been able to tell from her injuries. I still have things to ask him about. Why did you take me all the way out, game?
I turned a corner and she was lying on the bridge. I slammed on the brakes, but it wasn't fast enough, and I ran all over. I got out of the truck to see, and she wasn't breathing.
That really sucks.
I panicked.
Okay.
I threw her off the bridge.
He threw the victim's body over the bridge.
Why would you do that? I mean, I get it. You're scared. You think you killed somebody. It's like, oh God, what do I do? Hide the evidence. But still, it's like, I don't know what I'd do in that situation, but I feel like I wouldn't throw her body over the bridge. I feel like that's a little extreme. I don't know. I just feel like it's like that's kind of a reaction. I mean, if he had no way of knowing if she was dead before he hit her or not, but like I still feel like that's a little like I don't know. If they find the body later, you're still gonna go to jail, my dude. And again, I don't know what I'd do in that situation. I don't personally have the body strength to throw someone over a bridge, so I probably wouldn't do that. But I would at least cry first. I cry about most things. Anyway. This man threw her off a bridge. That's all we need to know.
This means that the victim wasn't knocked off the bridge by being struck by a vehicle.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting physics event if that had been how she died.
Yes, both these facts relate to the victim.
If they have the same picture on them, chances are you can combine them.
If I were to sum
Fun
up the
fact.
driver's account prior to the accident, the victim was
lying on the ground.
right. The victim had already been collapsed on the road.
And why was she in the middle of an overpass with no side? Like, that's not a place you go for a walk, you know?
And after
That's
he
just-
ran her over, the driver...
That's just a highway. Like, that's sus as fuck. I'm sorry.
Yes. He threw the victim over the bridge. Little guy, what's the FBI's opinion about this?
Wouldn't you call 911? I don't know.
He's already admitted to killing her. Why would he lie about that?
Indeed. His account coincides with the evidence I had found as well.
What evidence?
Well, if she had been standing when she was hit by the truck, the fractures to her bones would have indicated a strong impact from one certain direction. In this case, nothing of that sort was observed.
Yeah, she got her legs all run over and shit.
What about the shattered skull then?
Impact from being thrown off the bridge, my guy?
The skull fractures are consistent with a strong impact to the top of the head. It would be unnatural for it to have been due to a car accident. Considering what happened to the victim, it can be deduced that something else caused that fracture.
Yeah, like being thrown off a
That
bridge. Like, she was run over by the truck.
Yes.
Something completely different.
She was unconscious when she fell from the bridge. The fracture due to an impact to the top of the skull is understandable.
I see. You're
Why does her
right, that
being
does make
conscious...
more sense.
I guess if she was conscious, she would have landed some other way.
Yes. However, that raises questions about the victim herself.
I think she was already dead. That's my theory.
Why in the world was this woman so far from home?
That doesn't explain how she got there, though.
And why would she be lying in the middle of a bridge in the mountains at that time of night?
That's a valid point. I guess there are still some mysteries left unsolved here.
Indeed. We'll have to continue investigating in more detail.
Hey, 2 stars, though. Oh, hello.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, we were able
Thank
to look
you.
into the parents' injuries.
Good job. What did you find?
Yes, there were records that the parents had been going to a hospital, like you said. Let's see, it looks like they'd started being frequent visitors to the hospital 2 months ago.
Only 2 months ago?
How many times is frequent?
Oh, we didn't check every detail, but it was several times, ending about a month ago.
Interesting how it ended about a month ago and the girl died about a month ago.
The hospital staff seemed worried since many of the injuries seemed to be signs of abuse.
So she started abusing them out of nowhere 2 months ago. Because it had to have been related to her because the abuse stopped. Right? If it was abuse, it had to be related. She had to be the one doing it because the abuse stopped and she died. So she started abusing them out of nowhere 2 months ago? That doesn't make any sense.
Did they tell the doctors who had been physically assaulting them?
No, they didn't. However, some of their injuries were quite severe. The mother seemed to have suffered some visual impediments due to a wound on her eye.
Does the illness make you violent, I wonder?
I see. Further investigation is required to determine who had been abusing them.
Is it though? Because it ended a month ago and guess who died a month ago? Guess what? It was the victim who died a month ago. Alright, so we can combine the earrings probably. Oh, we can't combine the earrings. Never mind. How do we... Oh, because I have to analyze it. I have to analyze it first and then we can put... Okay, game. I see
Hey,
you.
little guy, I need you to analyze something.
Sure, send it over to me. I see.
I wanted to combine the earrings so bad. I was like ready to combine them.
There's blood on it. The DNA matches the victim as well. Also, this metal fitting seems warped. Could it be worn out from use?
Or because it got torn out of her ear, perhaps? That's my theory.
That doesn't seem to be the case. Look again at the bloodstain.
The bloodstain?
It's not on the ornament. It's on the needle part that goes through the ear. If there's blood there that matches the victim, then the earring was...
Ripped out of her ear. It must be someone else's blood. It was hit by a vehicle. I was right.
If that's the case, the damage to the fitting makes sense. But what could happen that would cause an earring to be torn off?
I don't know. I have like this pathological fear of earrings being ripped out of my ears. I'm serious. Because one time in like 2nd or 3rd grade, my dance teacher told us a horror story about a girl getting her earring ripped off during a dance concert as like a way to get us to not wear earrings to dance practice or to dance concerts. And so now I am terrified of earrings being ripped out of my ear. Thanks, ma'am.
I don't know yet. Still, there must be some connection to everything else here. I think this information may lead us to
God, I
some
don't even
more
remember that
concrete
teacher's name.
evidence.
It's like Miss Kelly or something. I don't know her full name. We called her Miss Kelly, I think, which I'm assuming was her first name. I don't know. Now I can go on the right.
True. Both of
Whee!
these facts relate to the earrings. The victim was discovered with only one of these earrings, and the other one was discovered in her room with her blood on it. Normally, if someone had an earring torn off to the point that it caused bleeding, they would have to realize that something was wrong. Still, the victim was on a bridge 8 kilometers away from her home. What this shows is that
She did it all the time. She was taken by force, I assume. Hey, gold evidence already? Guys, we are on a roll. We're doing so good. This is pro gaming.
That's right. She didn't leave this room by her own will. She was probably forced out of here by someone else. That could explain how one of the earrings was left in the room. But why would whoever abducted her leave her on a bridge 8 kilometers away?
I don't know the answer, man.
I feel like there's a lot of truth that remains to be uncovered.
I know some of the answer, but not enough to, like, speak, you know? In fact, simultaneously too much to speak and not enough to speak. Because I'm gonna get it
Dr.
wrong,
Kimishima,
but also I'll
the
spoil
results
you.
of the analysis on the corpse have come back.
Uh-oh, whoa.
Good.
Oh,
Did they
whoa,
find
what's
anything new?
this? Is it about the you-know-what, the illness?
It looks that way. The report indicates that the
Oh,
fractures to
or
the
is it gonna
femurs
say
and
it's
skull,
post-mortem?
they were all posthumous.
Yeah! She was already dead.
So these wounds were inflicted after she died.
Yes, that's what posthumous means.
Yes, that's what the report says.
So something else killed her! Oh no! Post-mortem fractures. Okay. Oh, we have to analyze this.
Hey, little guy. I need you to analyze this medication.
Yes, of course. Did you find it in the victim's room?
That's right. It looks like it's prescribed medication. But what is it?
Who knows? It's definitely no common over-the-counter drug. I'd suspect that this would have to be prescribed by a doctor before someone can buy it.
That's what we already fucking guessed.
I see, that makes sense. This could mean that the victim had attended a hospital.
Hey, guess who else attended a hospital? Her
Was the victim
parents.
suffering from some kind of injury or disease?
A disease, huh?
If our
I
analysis
wonder
continues, we may
if
find
she was
something
suffering from a disease! Okay. Cool, he's analyzing it. Oh, he did it really fast.
Dr. Kimishima, about that prescription.
Did it really fast.
Did you find something out?
Yes, we found which hospital the victim had been going to and requested her charts. It says Veronica had been to the hospital a month prior to her death.
Interesting. That's when the parents' injuries started.
Her symptoms were migraines, visual and auditory hallucinations,
Huh.
mood swings,
Huh.
and depression.
Interesting.
It also says she was vomiting blood and had convulsions. along
Vomiting
with
blood?
hemoptysis.
Vomiting blood like the blood on her shirt when she was found?
Convulsions? Vomiting blood?
Yes, that's what it says. The doctors
And
aren't
they
sure to
didn't
have
keep
more
her in the
detailed
hospital
examinations,
because...
But it seems that she had
Oh,
no
because
intention
she's
of
like,
listening to
nah, bitch, I don't fucking feel like
And
it.
she left the hospital and whatever disease she had went unconfirmed.
If only her doctor had forced her to be hospitalized.
That's just how things are these days. People don't really get concerned about strangers.
I don't think it's so much about getting concerned about strangers more than, like, I don't know, human rights. Because, honestly, seems a little unethical that if someone says, I do not want to be hospitalized right now, that you could forcibly hospitalize them. If they aren't suffering from, like, I mean, you could do that with mental disorders, I know, if they're, like, have threatened to harm themselves or others. But if she had no, like, expressed intention of harming other people or herself, they couldn't keep her. That's, like, against human rights. That's unethical. So, it's not about getting concerned about strangers, little guy.
Let's continue with the investigation. Sorry for being emotional just now.
You were not emotional, but okay.
In any case, we don't know what disease she had.
I think Dr. Kimishima needs a hug. And I would like to give her a hug. I would also like for her to step on me. Those two things are unrelated.
Judging from her symptoms, it was something severe.
I agree. If we find anything out, I'll be sure to let you know immediately.
You do that. It may give us another hint in solving this case.
Hey, 3 stars. Boop. Yeah, we're so good at this. Pro gamers.
True, these two do share a common link.
This whole family going to the
The
hospital, yeah.
victim's hospital records say she'd been at the hospital since...
2 months ago. Boom. Done it. Good. I'm good at
Yes,
math.
2 months ago. For the month before her death,
I'm so
she'd
good at
been
video
treated
games.
the
I'm so
hospital.
smart.
Now, the parents' hospital records say they'd been visiting the hospital since...
2 months ago.
Yes. They also started visiting the hospital 2 months ago. Veronica was going for migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, and vomiting blood. And her parents were going after suffering frequent injuries.
I'm surprised her parents didn't catch whatever she had. Like, maybe it's not... I mean, if it was blood-borne and she's vomiting blood, like, I don't know.
A month before the victim was
I don't
found
know.
dead, the parents suddenly stopped having these injuries.
And they're just now figuring this out.
An unpleasant coincidence, to be sure. I hope there's no connection here.
And yet, there is, probably. Because this is a video game. There are no bizarre coincidences in these video games. Oh, I can put these together.
The victim's femurs were fractured in the accident with
But
the
she was
truck.
already
Her
dead.
skull was shattered when her body was dropped from the bridge.
So he didn't kill her, he just made a stupid decision.
We've confirmed that both those injuries occurred after death. From those facts, it's clear that when the victim was on the bridge,
She was already dead. Gold! Solid evidence! Boom! There we go! We're so good at this game. God.
yes, even if she hadn't
So
been
smart.
run over by the truck, she was already dead. That means that the driver was telling the truth in his interrogation.
Then does that mean that she was kidnapped from her room, murdered, and then had her corpse dumped on that bridge?
Sure sounds like it, little
I
guy.
don't know that just yet. We'll need to investigate a little more.
Okay, so... Vomiting blood? Was this a symptom? Future Abby. Future Abby, remember that meme you made a long time ago? About Gabe? Yeah, make another one with Naomi, please. Was this a symptom? I cracked myself up. Okay, this one.
Yes, we can put these two facts together. According to the chart from the hospital, the victim's condition caused her to vomit blood.
Guessing she vomited blood when she was killed.
If she had continued to vomit blood after her hospital visit, that would explain the bloodstains on her clothing. Yes. Thus, these bloodstains were caused by the blood that she had vomited.
Recall a focus on the body. Is that what a focus is? Yeah.
We can deduce the victim's physical state from this information. First, the pathological changes. There's no knowing what disease she had. However, if this discoloration of the bones shows the existence of a focus, it's safe to assume that whatever disease she was suffering from
Yeah, sure
was
seemed
in
like
an
it.
advanced state. The massive bloodstains on her clothes came from her vomiting blood. There aren't many conditions that cause that much hemorrhaging. From these 2 points alone, I conclude that she was already in terminal condition. Even if she hadn't been killed, she was already on the brink of death.
I see. I feel sorry for her. But if that's the case, then why?
Why was she kidnapped? I still have my doubts about that, actually.
Oh, whoa.
Did the murderer kidnap her? Or did that even happen?
What do you mean?
Whatever the case, she was definitely taken from her home before she died. The question now is what happened between the time she was taken until the car accident.
Yeah, 'cause she could have just succumbed to her illness for all we know.
Right, I follow you.
Once we know that, we should finally be able to see the real truth behind this case. Little guy, I'm going to check the victim's room one more time.
I thought you might want to, so
Oh,
I
well.
have a new tool ready for you.
Is this the fingerprint stuff?
Someone's prepared.
Do I get my
And what
fingerprint
kind
stuff
of
now?
present do you have for me?
Do I get my fingerprint stuff now?
It's not the most appropriate gift for a lady, but
Shut up with your gender norms, Yosuke Hanamura. God.
it's a
I don't wanna
aluminum
think about
powder
that,
for
man.
finding fingerprints. There are some useful additions to the mixture.
Ah, great. I'm impressed.
I'm glad you like it.
Unfortunately, I don't like to think about that man, but I thought about him in that instance.
Spread the powder anywhere that looks
Yosuke.
suspicious and shine your investigation light on it.
Can I just say fuck Yosuke? Just again, I know I've said that a bunch of times, but like fuck Yosuke.
And that'll make any fingerprints stand out?
Hope
All right,
it
I'll
hope
give it a try.
I hope no Yosuke stands are offended by this, but the man's a homophobe, y'all.
Good luck. Well then.
And a sexist. Cool, I can look for fingerprints now. Little fingy prints. Damn, we're getting close to the end here, looks like. Well, not really, because this still has 1 star on it. All other bone fractures are made after death, but this one is different. I would try to connect it with the earring to see if they happened at the same time, but the earring is done. So, it's all donezo. So let's go back to her house. Whee! Alright, so we want fingy prints. So, what? Do we want fingy prints on the glass? Is that what we want? Fingy prints on this glass, maybe. Nope. What about fingy prints near the mirror? 'Cause that's where the shit would have gone down over here, you know? Just get this whole area dusted. So, you know, to make sure I didn't miss 1 pixel. Oh. Duh. No. Just the floor? There wouldn't be fingy prints on the floor, would there? I don't know where else to look for fingy prints. Now me, Oh, it was the floor! Never mind. That's... Was she dragged? Like, is that her hands dragging?
So many. These are all the same fingerprints. It's likely they belong to the victim.
Those her fingies? On the ground?
Now, why would she leave so many fingerprints on the floor?
It looks like her hand was facing towards... She wasn't dragged out with her hands dragging. Is that her being dragged away from the door? That doesn't make sense. Crawling towards the door? Maybe. Crawling on the floor. Wearing hand-shaped shoes! Pushing off the walls in 0G! I think she was crawling on the floor. Doing handstands, though? Likely. Not likely.
Yes. She was probably crawling on the floor to move around.
Yeah, she probably succumbed to her illness.
The prints indicate
The
she was
illness.
heading towards...
The door. Heading towards the door.
The prints on the floor lead to the room's
Oh,
entrance.
okay, I had to click on the rug.
Even under
Never
the mat.
mind.
What's underneath the mat? Nothing. What could this mean?
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Just as I thought.
Oh, the music, the intense music is playing, y'all.
These are bloodstains. They must be Veronica's. Considering the facts so far, these bloodstains must have been caused by...
Blood that she vomited, I would guess. Because
Yes.
that's a lot.
Veronica's clothing
And her
was
clothes are
covered in
covered in
blood
it.
that she had vomited. The amount of blood here is more than would be a fatal loss in most people.
So she died here.
But there's something odd about these bloodstains. Blood is a liquid. It should be evenly spread across the floor. If there was one reason for the bloodstains to be shaped like this, it would have to be...
The door was closed. I remember this. The floor was replaced? Okay. Oh, I remember this.
Yes. This door was closed when Veronica was vomiting blood. That's why the blood spread unevenly.
We should check the back of the door.
This door had been closed when Veronica was vomiting blood. Thus, the room is now in the same condition as it was when that happened.
Guys, look at the door.
The lower part of the door has numerous scratches on it. What could these scratches be?
I know what I have to do. Oh, never mind. This one? Yeah, there we go.
Huh? Bloodstains? Inside the scratch marks? From looking at the shape and location of these scratches, they are...
This.
Yes, these are traces that someone had clawed at the door. On top of that, it was done with such desperation that their own nails cracked and bled.
Oh, that should be about wrap things up. Really? You're just done like that? Okay, now me. God, I remember this now. I remember this vividly. This one makes me sad. It's really sad. Well, okay. She must have died in the room.
We can deduce the victim's condition within this room by putting these facts together. Veronica was crawling on the floor. It's likely that this is because of the mysterious disease she was suffering from. It sapped her strength to the point that she was unable to even stand. She had an attack of her disease inside this room.
Aww. This is one of the first times we really see the illness and how terrifying it is. I mean, we also saw it in diagnostics and surgery, but this is where you see what it looks like to die from it, and it's just, in this case specifically, just makes me so sad.
These bloodstains are at the entrance to the room. The door was closed when Veronica vomited blood. That, along with the scratches on the inside of the door, there's just one sad conclusion we can reach from all this. Yes, Veronica was prevented from leaving here. Writhing in pain and unable to open the door, she lost a lethal amount of blood and died right here. She wasn't kidnapped and killed.
That's just an abrupt ending to that. Okay. Okay, never mind. The last two remaining cards cannot be put together.
Can you do something for me, little guy? I need
There
this
we go.
bone analyzed in detail.
See, I was right. You can analyze this. I just was doing it too early.
Oh, sure. What do you mean by in detail, though?
I just need to know if this fracture occurred before or after death.
This must have happened while she was still alive. Take a look at this area here. You can see where it started healing.
Great. I thought as much. All right, thank you.
Why couldn't she look at that? Also, we only saw it on the bone. I guess bones do heal too. Never mind.
There's no knowing yet if this has anything to do with this case.
But it must, because otherwise we wouldn't have it.
But I do know now that this fracture occurred while she was still alive.
Yep. There, now I can combine them.
Yes, these seem to be related. According to the charts, the victim's symptoms were migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, vomiting blood, hemoptysis, and perhaps most importantly,
Increased aggression. So it's a symptom.
yes, sudden aggressive behavior. That is, she was acting out violently. Her conditions must have worsened severely a month before her death. That is, her violent tendencies would have increased in frequency and severity. In addition to that is the fracture in Veronica's finger. This is the only injury she had while
You do
alive.
break your hand when you hit people.
That's a common injury when people hit things with their fists. On the other hand, the parents' injuries seemed like signs of abuse. If I were to consider all these points, those wounds were... right.
The house is
Still right to
dangerous.
both the victim and her parents.
Rose Red, is that you?
They show that Veronica had been physically abusing her parents.
Well, is this... Do we have all solid evidence now? Wait, are we done? I thought this one would be longer. We did it! We won! Okay, so I was just about to end the episode, but I guess we're not doing that yet.
The dead shall speak. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. A woman's skeleton was found 50 kilometers downriver of the city. The victim's name is Veronica Cage. She was 23 years old. She was suffering from some sort of illness. It caused her severe pain along with mental instability. When she couldn't go on, she snapped and turned violent. This card shows the truth of that emotional state.
This one.
The patient had frequently physically assaulted her parents. This same disease finally caused her own death as well. This card shows evidence of that final attack. Yes, there were traces of blood at her room's entrance. During the attack, she writhed in agony about the room.
This will get a little bit gory, I'm gonna warn you now.
The shattered mirror is evidence of that violent behavior. Eventually, her strength gave out and she collapsed. She used the last of her strength to try to leave the room. However, her one final wish was left unanswered. This card speaks to that sad truth.
This one.
In her fading consciousness, she tore at the door. But she died there, and the culprits carried her body out. The proof of this is on this card. Exactly. The earring caught on something while she was being carried. She was already dead when the earring was torn from her ear. Most likely, her death surprised the ones responsible.
Like, her hand
They
scratching the
then
door,
cleaned
but
the
maybe I
room
was
to
wrong.
hide any signs she was there.
But also maybe I wasn't wrong.
But whoever
So
cleaned
don't.
the room had poor eyesight,
Don't let your guard down if you think that's gonna get you, you know?
and thus did not see the earring among the mirror shards. The body had to be hidden as well.
They took her out into a
Their
fucking
plan was to
overpass.
throw the body off a bridge 8 kilometers away. But they were scared off by a pair of oncoming headlights. This culprit, with a bad back, gave up and fled the scene. Those headlights belonged to the blue truck.
Just left her there.
The driver could not avoid the body and ran over her. The driver believed he had killed her and dumped the body. Ironically, what he did only completed the culprit's plan. This card has proof that she was already dead when run over. Hiding a corpse is a crime, but the driver wasn't the murderer. The ones responsible are those who locked her away to die. She sought help, not knowing that none would ever come. Her last words are the proof of that desperation.
Okay, obviously it's this one. Oh, there we go. There it is. I found it.
This is the whole truth in how her life was cut short.
That's the gore I remembered. I'll put a little warning in the video as well.
I don't know what the dead want, but the truth must come out.
You're right.
I'm going to see the ones who cut your life's thread short.
They could have, like, restrained her and taken her to the hospital. At that point, she couldn't physically.
The medical examiner. What brings you here?
They've met me? They know what I look
Your
like?
daughter died in suffering. She struggled, she shouted, and she clawed at her door. She tried to escape so terribly that her own nails tore off. Why didn't you open the door?
There was no choice. We wanted her to be happy. We wanted her to be normal.
What the fuck?
This would...
Her death may have been inescapable.
That's your reasoning? You wanted her to be
But
normal?
You defiled her death in order to protect yourselves. That can never be forgiven.
It wasn't even her nature, it was the disease.
When death came to you, did you suffer?
You know she suffered, Naomi.
Soon I will know for myself.
Miss Kimishima.
Oh hey, I
your
recognize
test
that
results have
place.
come back.
I see. Let me ask you up front.
I recognize that
How long
place.
do I have until my flame goes out?
That's caduceus.
A year at best. Maybe 6 months.
Is that Dr. Styles
I
talking?
understand. Thank you, Doctor.
I wonder if that's Dr. Styles talking.
Dr. Kimishima, the helicopter's here to take you to the lab.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to give her a hug, man. Hey there. Ooh. Ooh.
Rosalia. What is this? Someone's name?
Guys, it's a new clue. It's one we've
Dr.
never seen
Kimishima,
before.
Are you all right up there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'll be right down.
Why would she have written that on the wall, though? That's interesting. Well, we did it! We won! We solved another case, guys! I honestly expected that to take an additional episode than it did, so that's interesting. Maybe I was just better at that one. I don't know. But I, need to wipe my tears off of my face. And I will see you next time to start the next one, Behind the Lies. I actually, just from my memory, I don't remember which case comes next, so I might remember less this time. Who knows? Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I'll stop talking about bullshit. I can't tell, like, is it more entertaining if I know what's gonna happen, or if I don't know what's gonna happen? Because, like, I'm trying to restrain myself from just saying, oh yeah, her parents did it, you know? Or, like, you know, blurting out the answer when I remember it. I try to just say, oh, I remember this, and then be quiet, you know? But anyway, maybe I'll remember less, and we won't have that issue next time. But anyway, this episode's kind of long already, so I will leave you guys here. I won't keep you. I won't talk for 6 hours. I'll just give the usual spiel, which is pretty long, but I'll try to cut it down. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support and the likes and the comments, and yeah. If you're not already, I highly recommend subscribing to my channel because we have a lot of fun here. I play all sorts of different types of games. I also play all sorts of different types of games over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CaptainAbbyGames. So if you want to watch me live sometime, come hang out. I would really love to have you. Just drop me a follow over there so you can get a notification when I go live and stuff. And also, I have a link to my Discord server in the description if you're interested in joining that. But like I said, I'll try not to keep you too long, so I just hope you have an amazing day. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody!